Hello.
Hi, my friend.
Good. Good to see you
Good
again.
to see you again. How are you doing?
Pretty well. We have, I'm excited for today's topic because this has been really on my heart about how do we face really challenging times and really challenging agendas, and for you, a really challenging place to be,
Yes. Yeah, and how
and
do we
just
not
get
get,
brighter.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And how do we not get stuck in the
Mhm.
darkness? And something that's really become clear to me in these past years is like, I know what what is going on in this world, let's say, and I don't want to get focused on that. I don't want to get stuck in the mud. I really try to be a solution-based person as much as I can, because it's easy to get stuck there, right? It's easy to look at all that stuff and go down those rabbit holes, and sometimes you never come up from them.
Oh my
And
goodness. I have to tell you something that's so perfect for this conversation that I just
tell
remembered.
me,
Okay, I was in a little bookstore the other day and I saw a card that said, "Until further notice, celebrate everything."
how I love
I
it.
love that because that's what we can do to be totally solutions focused is when these growth points come up for us, when these challenges come up for us, to meet them with not resistance, first of all, then not just acceptance, but celebration. Because this is how we grow. This is how we become who we want to be and have the kind of freedom we want in our lives.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. And with all the darkness in this world right now, with that brings opportunity. And that is undeniable. Like there is a light and a dark side to everything. And we are here today to talk about the light and
Mm-hmm.
everything that,
Literally and metaphorically. I
yeah,
mean, how cool is that?
yeah,
These light therapy patches are
totally.
truly part of the awakening and the illumination on planet Earth right now.
One of my favorite words, illumination.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there is an opportunity. Let's talk about this opportunity. Where should we start?
Well, I am interested to hear more about what the situation is in Canada because I've been hearing little bits and pieces about the suppression of herbal medicine, and we know that Canada's kind of the testing ground
Yeah.
for the agenda. And I don't, like we had mentioned, we don't want to get stuck in this doomsday victimized perspective, but let's look at what's happening and then look at the solutions.
Yeah. It's a very let's say interesting time to be here in Canada. I was even away for a couple of weeks, first time out of the country since 2020. And, even noticing coming back into the country, I think it was you that coined this term, but it felt almost like a bit of an energetic prison
Mm.
where, now, there's censorship, there's all sorts of crazy things happening, you know wanting to legislate and control herbal medicines, holistic therapies, so many different things. And it is this pressure cooker, right? It is this, like, how much can we squeeze people before they either break? And I feel like it's either we break or we turn into diamonds. And
That's
I
it.
yeah, right, like I'm not going to succumb to this. And I know there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way and know that there's a lot that we can do. Like, we don't have to be apathetic. I had a conversation earlier today with two men that are very like-minded, and it was so incredibly inspiring. And I think it's easy to forget that we are here with a purpose. And humans, to be a human here on earth right now is like an amazing privilege.
It
And
truly is.
yeah,
It truly is.
watch everything that's like unfolding and uncovering in live time. So I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what's happening in Canada. But it definitely feels like a pressure cooker. Let's just say that, as I'm
Yeah.
sure it does in the States as well. But
And I
I
think
think we're
my perspective too is my past experience, I had a legal situation with a psychopath. I had a personal relationship with a psychopath. Not fun at all, but talk about an opportunity, because I got to see how these people think and work and operate.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of the most valuable experiences of my life, because now I can see this on a global level. And what I see they're doing in these, testing points like Canada is it's this big game of chicken.
Mm-hmm.
That's how psychopaths work, is they see how far they can just scare people without having to then escalate to physical force. But the crazy thing is that it is the energetic environment to step into such internal soulful power for all of us. That game of chicken is a gift. It's like this invitation of, hey, are you actually going to step into your potential strength? And so in that situation, earlier in my life, I'm so grateful. I knew it was my training ground. I didn't know what was going to happen in the future in the world in 2020. But I look back and I was like, oh yes, I was thrown into the lion's den at that point in my life. So I could say, haha, they're not going to bite me. I'm one of them. And that is what I think all of humanity is facing, this invitation of, okay, look, you're all being thrown in the lion's den. How do you survive? It is stepping into that internal strength, that frequency,
Yeah.
that power.
Yeah. And all the personal development and, doing a real self audit, let's say, and what matters to you the most. What are you not willing to bend on? What hill are you willing to die on?
That's
And
it.
all of
Yeah.
these things. So
And
I
if
think,
people don't have a hill to die on, you're not living life.
yeah.
That's the thing. And I got to this point uh, when I realized the nature of my work and what I was putting out in the world was going to be really threatening to some powerful people. And I made a commitment in my heart. I was like, I'm going to go out with the truth if I have to go out, but that's it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be living. I would be suppressing my soul. And you really have to decide at some point, go all the way in, because that's the only way you're also going to go all the way into joy and purpose and pleasure and love and connection and everything else that makes life worth living.
Yes, I love it. Going all in, and that means on like every aspect of your life. I feel like, that's totally it. And there's so much opportunity with that. And oh my gosh, like the conversations, the words that I have heard in these last couple hours, I mentioned I did another conversation earlier today, and this is it. Like, we're here for
Mm-hmm.
it. And it
Mm-hmm.
is exciting, and we get to play our part in the game, and we get to also say yes, say no, and take the reins, and like, where's this ship gonna go?
So, how are you empowering yourself in this energetic prison of communist Canada? That's the question. How do you empower yourself? How do you start steering the ship in a different direction?
I think, first of all, knowing that I'm a sovereign being,
Mm.
first and foremost, that I don't have to answer to a government. Of course, we want to, treat our neighbors with respect and not be, you know, I don't know what the word is. You know where I'm going, though? Like, of course, we want to
Not
maintain.
infringing on anybody else's rights. Right.
Exactly. But at the same time, not just laying down and like letting all of our rights being taken away. So just knowing that I'm a sovereign being. I read a lot of books on food, on herbal medicines, on the body and how the body is divinely designed by God to
Mm-hmm.
regenerate. And when you give it the right tools, when you live in sync with nature and, just in alignment with your purpose and who you came here to be, then health generally, like your body generally will work for you. And your body's always working for you, right? But I spend a lot of my time just trying to have a pulse on the truth. And I feel like that's my North Star. So
Mm.
there's, I think we touched a little bit on this yesterday, but there, of course, I have one foot deeply rooted in traditional practices like traditional foods and herbal medicine, and those mainstay evergreen pillars, you know, trying to have high quality sleep, those things. And then the other side of that is that, like, we are in this age of Aquarius where there are amazing technologies coming down the pipeline, and there are many good people doing many good things. And so, you know, LifeWave is one of these things where it's these technologies that are here to help support the human
Mm-hmm.
with light
Mm-hmm.
therapy. And so this is something that I've been doing for the last, well, since mid-August. And it has been one of the biggest things that I've brought into my life. And we're all of us, there's a few of us here that are like, we need to start talking about this more. What are we doing? Like, people are looking for solutions, people
Yeah.
are looking for answers, people are looking for ways to empower themselves.
Well,
And
that's it, is what is the ultimate empowerment? It's health and financial freedom.
yeah.
Now, both of those things, first and foremost, come from a state of consciousness, right? Because money isn't just about money. It's never about money. It's about energy. Health isn't about health. It's about energy. But a really empowered state of consciousness manifests as those two things, health and financial freedom. And that's why both you and I are so excited about the LifeWave patches, these phototherapy patches for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so why don't you share with people who have never heard of them or seen
Mm-hmm.
of heard anything about these? What are these patches that we're
Yes.
talking about all this week? And
They look like little band-aids like this. So it's a patented technology, 9+ patents, and over 80 controlled studies showing the efficacy of how this raises GHKU, which is copper peptide in the body. Now, copper peptide, that's something your body produces naturally. It's a chain of amino acids that has a lot of beneficial effects. Specifically, it reactivates dormant stem cells. So, to just reiterate, the more copper peptide your body's producing, the more active your stem cells are going to be. This is really important because our stem cells decline as we age. So by the time we're 60, I believe over 50% of our stem cell activity has gone dormant, which is why we get signs of aging, aches and pains, and why it takes longer for wounds to heal. If you look at an elderly person who breaks a bone versus a 5-year-old child who breaks a bone, why is the child healing so much faster? All the stem cells.
mhm.
So these work via light, and they're activated by the infrared light that's coming off our bodies all the time. That light or that energy coming off our body hits the patch. It's a crystal matrix within a fabric patch in here. And then that refracts the light in a very specific wavelength, right? Crystals refract light waves. And that new light wave goes back into the body, and it's that light wave or frequency that stimulates your cells to produce more of the copper peptide, and in turn, more copper peptide, more stem cell activity. It can sound far out, but just think about this. When you go out and you lay in the sunshine, what happens in your body? Why do people feel so much better? Because your cells are responding to light. Cells are producing vitamin D. So, and all these other truly healing functions in the body that science hasn't even discovered yet from just sunlight. So all light frequencies can have different cellular effects.
So to backtrack a little bit on a question you asked earlier about what's happening here in Canada. So yeah, they're really trying to muzzle and suppress herbal, holistic, alternative medicines. And so this is one way that I'm empowering myself and my family, like having a pack of these in my emergency toolkit,
Mm-hmm.
you know, being prepared and having these alternative but yet very old ancient therapies. I mean, I feel like it's such a flex in this world. You know.
It is. Well, why are they trying to block out the sun?
Yeah.
Why are they trying to limit the light that we get. This is just increasing really beneficial light waves in our own body. And that is light and frequency. We've said it before. It's the future of healthcare.
Yeah.
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 And
All the way.
it really, we've touched on this also in a recent interview you did of me for your class program, and that's on my Substack if people want to catch that. But we were discussing how when we are in a state of disease, unwell state, that our intuition gets cloudy and we aren't operating at the level of truth sensing that is appropriate and normal for a human being, because our bodies are the most accurate, highly attuned truth sensing devices. So this is why, maybe we could say 90% of humanity is pretty asleep to what's really happening in the world, pretty asleep to the agendas. Why is that? Because their bodies aren't functioning with those truth sensing abilities that is their birthright, because of processed food, because of pharmaceuticals. We talked about the vibrational programming that happens with pharmaceuticals. There's vibrational programming that happens with processed food, with pornography, with all of these influences that we're exposed to in this world. Even logos, it goes so deep, but all of this is designed to shut down the body's truth sensing ability. Now, when we start to heal physically, we get to feel better, first of all, but our truth sensing abilities get heightened. Our intuition gets heightened. So I do believe this is part of the awakening that's happening right now, not just on a physical level, but because you start supporting your body's health, your truth sensing abilities get reactivated.
Yeah, I think about that conversation too, and just even how from a very young age we are conditioned to seek approval and authority outside of ourselves, basically muzzling our own intuition. Like, I'm going to take my baby to a doctor who knows nothing about my child, or, the kind of pregnancy that I had necessarily, really know me. And I'm going to, let them tell me what exactly, or tell me if my baby is healthy or not. Like, it starts so young. Mm-hmm. And so it's not to like shame anybody, or, we're all on the perfect part of the path where we're supposed to be on. And but for those of us who kind of understand and see what's going on, like, this is why, again, I always say, this is why we can drop into these deeper healing modalities and help our bodies get a leg up on healing. And it's not interfering with anything. This is one of the pieces that I love the most. It's just supporting what your body already knows how to do.
Yes, exactly. And I do want to clarify, there is nothing but light that is going into your body with these things. These are not transdermal. There are some patches out there. You put them on your skin and it is a transdermal absorption of supplements, for example, or substances. No, just light frequency. And for that reason, they're really beneficial for people who may have compromised digestive issues, compromised uptake of supplements. And yes, but that's key. This is just a light wave that's going into your body, not any other substance.
Totally. Yeah. So we have some people on here. I'm wondering if there's any questions anybody has. We would love to answer them for you. I talked a little bit yesterday about I have my silver strip of hair, and how I'm actually not only getting like darker hair coming back in because it is actually age reversal, but I'm actually getting like a bunch of new hair growing.
That's so exciting. A lot of people have asked me about the hair growth effects, because I've shared some pretty amazing before and after pictures of the hair growth. And I think that's up for a lot of people because of the electromagnetic influences and the environmental toxins that are happening right now that can definitely impact hair. And yes, these patches are very, very helpful, and it can take a little while to get those effects, because like we discussed yesterday.
And I'm just starting to
Yeah.
notice this now. And like I started in the middle of August. So,
September, October,
you know, it's
December, January. Yeah.
8 months.
Like 6 months. Yeah. 8 months.
I don't
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
know. It's been at least half a year though.
Because I tell people it's usually at the 6 month mark is where people are going to start noticing the aesthetic
Yeah.
effects. Um, so yeah, it takes some time because your body in its own wisdom is going to send the activated stem cells in order of priority. Hair, skin, nails, lower on the priority list.
Yeah, another interesting thing that I noticed too is my gums. I had like
Mm.
kind of receding gums at one point and they feel so much healthier. And that's just, you know, checking in with my body, and I have a relationship with my body where I like to say I pay attention to what's happening, but I noticed that at one point they like my dad had receding gums. It was just like something, I don't know, that I've always kind of kept my eye on, and I notice now that it's just not even an issue at all. So
That's fantastic. And again, that's not an unusual result. I've heard of other people having that for sure.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
interesting.
Onyx Cole, she
Oh
was going to a biological dentist who was actually tracking her gums. And so she's been using the patches for a while now, like 4 years, I believe, but she has a video testimonial sharing her results of reversing receding gums. Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible.
truly. I mean, all these things that we've been told, that's just what happens when time goes by, and this is just inevitable or this is incurable. Throw all that away. We have the opportunity to see that all that is a curse.
Hmm.
It's all just this generational mind curse that we carry into our reality because we carry it into our minds. Well, now we get the opportunity to change our minds
Yeah.
and therefore change our reality.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we are like, we're just getting started. We're just getting like reactivated with all of this again. We both kind of had this epiphany come to us where it's like I mean, we've been sharing about it for the last however long, but there is this like opening. I feel like it's like a really potent time
Yeah, I felt
to,
that. It was
yeah,
like, this is it. The time is now. People need to know this. This is going to be a doorway into freedom,
yeah,
health freedom,
yeah.
financial freedom. Let's get this into the hands of the people.
Well, I think health, like I think freedom starts in the body.
It
If you
does.
don't have your health,
Mm-hmm.
what do you have, you know? And so, yeah, so you and I, and there's a bunch of us, we're really just getting started again, reactivating, reigniting this passion for beautiful, holistic, regenerative technologies, LifeWave patches. So, like, stay tuned, I would say. We're coming live the rest of this week, and like moving forward, we're just, we want people to know about this, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
So please let us know if you have any questions. You can drop it in the comments now, and then also you can DM either Allison or I, and we can send you more info and get you set up. We've got one comment.
Spiritual, psychological, informational, biological warfare, huge paradigm shift collectively within the consciousness, followed by independence, autonomy, and sovereignty.
Amen to
That's it.
that. That
Yeah, bravo.
exactly. That gets some snaps.
Yeah, I think, you know, we think that awakening is sometimes, like this joyful, peaceful thing, but it's actually like pretty painful for a lot of people to
It's
actually,
brutal. It's
yeah.
brutal at times. I have described it as the sensation of my skin peeling off as if I was in a vat of boiling water. That is
Yes.
like one side of the awakening. And then there's the other side of the awakening, which is like euphoric bliss and joy, and I'm in a different dimension. But it's the whole spectrum. You
Yeah.
have to awaken to the darkness and the light uh, in proportion,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
we don't get to acknowledge the power of the light until we see the depth of the darkness that is in existence. And then the other fallacy people often fall into is they get into that pessimistic place. And honestly, I've heard this from people in communist Canada too, where it's like, oh, it's so bad, it's just terrible. I don't even want to open my eyes to what's happening because then I'm going to feel hopeless. And it's like that is a complete lack of wisdom because wisdom knows that light and truth is always more powerful than the darkness in existence. So if you're afraid to recognize the truth of the darkness, it simply means you just don't know this basic fact of life. So get your facts straight. Like
Totally, totally. Yeah. So if anyone has any questions about these patches, about the opportunity that comes with them, if you are looking to, you know, take this amazing opportunity and transform your health and your wealth, because they are intrinsically connected, whether we like to see that or not, reach out to us. And we've got a community building, and it's super exciting to really take the reins of your health and, you know, not have to outsource. And it feels damn good, you know?
it really does. It really does. I feel that every chiropractor, acupuncturist, energy medicine practitioner, nutritional therapist should have this in their arsenal to support their clientele.
Yeah.
And like you and I said, we have packs in our emergency kits, packs to share with friends and family, and it's just deeply empowering.
Health is wealth. Leave the sick care system. That's what everybody's waking up to.
Bingo. Yeah.
Is that we create our own health. We create our reality. We are not victims, and we get to choose. So let's choose wisely, and let's choose light. And yeah, do you have any final thoughts? We're just coming up to half an hour here.
Yeah, we're wrapping up. Well, we will be back tomorrow.
We will.
So I'm sure we'll have some thoughts in the meantime.
Thanks for everyone who joined today, if you're catching the live or the replay. And yeah, thanks, Lauren. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you all soon. See you later. Bye-bye.